Oh, hello. I've missed you all. I've just been sat. It's obviously Sunday afternoon here, not for all of you. I'm going to do a Q&A session. There was lots of questions coming in because we close enrollment to the Seven Keys course tomorrow. And I know it's a really, really big decision for all of you. I get it. I've signed up for courses before. I always have lots of questions before I sign up for something. So I really wanted to do this session today to answer as many questions as I can. And I've also sent out an email answering some questions too. So I've got them in front of me. We start next week. So we've got Week of Welcome next week. And we have people joining from, they're on the wall. Oh, you can't really see, can you? Hold on a second. You can just see all the books there. Look. I'll have to do, there we go. I will do a photograph and a reel showing you. But we've got such a lovely global group. We've got Australia, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, USA, Canada, New Zealand, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Cyprus, Italy, Thailand, Croatia. How amazing. So anyway, I'm excited. We've got Week of Welcome next week. So we make sure the first week, next week, that you can access the material, that you know how to download things, that you know who your rep is, because obviously you get signed a rep to be your point of contact throughout the course. So they're going to be there to cheer you on, to support you, to be there if you've got any questions as you go through the program. You can share your work on a weekly basis and ask for some input from the reps and from everyone else taking part as well. Myself, I'll be in the group. I'm always in the group, usually on Mondays and Wednesdays. Definitely Wednesday is my day. I come in and do a live Q&A with you all. And then, of course, we've extended the support, which we've never done before. So you are going to have monthly coaching calls with me until April next year so that you can take action on the 7 keys, keep accountable to keep going well into next year, to ask any questions. I'll answer them. Hopefully by then you will be answering your own questions though, because a big part of the 7 keys is, everything's got a bit messy in the background here. You can tell I'm coming to the end of the workshop. Let's get the board back in. Let's get rid of the messy chair. There we go. Yeah, so the program really helps you, you know, you've gone through the Make Art Your Living event. It teaches you more about yourself, your art, and the right questions to ask, and how to move forwards with what art to make, who to connect with, how to talk about it, understanding your purpose, understanding how to price it, understanding how to convert people into sales once you've started to attract them. We're going to take you through all of these steps. And that's why many people go through this program and start making a living and start having progress. Now, some of those people, it's taken 12 months. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say in the 8 weeks, you're going to start making a living. It is a longer term. Some people have results really quickly, some don't. It's about applying this, but what you're learning, keep saying it, but it's so important, can be transferred in the future to so many other things that you do in your life. So let me go through the questions and yeah, Pablo, hello. So I'm really new to this program. Please tell me what it's all about. Absolutely. So we've been running the Make Art Your Living workshop. You need to watch the replays of that if you haven't already. They come down today at the end of the day. Well, they're coming down tomorrow morning, but we say get it all consumed now. Download what you need if you're not taking the course or upgrading. And then I've got questions today. Pablo, if you want to go and have a look at the link above, it really outlines the course in more detail, and then you can ask any questions in the session if you have any. Juliet is tuning in from Trinidad. Oh, we've had members join from Trinidad. I went to Tobago years ago. Miranda's with us. Hello, Miranda. I'm interested in taking the course, but I'm wondering whether to do it next year when I can plan ahead to make proper time for it. That's up to you. If you don't have time now, if it's not the right time, I will probably run it again. I haven't got a date scheduled, but I think I will run it again next year. And so in terms of time, because that was a question actually, people were asking, how long does this course take? So the course is pre-recorded and released on a Monday. The videos are all less than 10 minutes long, and each key is less than 1 hour. So you can do this course in 1 to 2 hours a week. We have set it up so you can do it in 1 hour. Just 1 hour a week. That's all you need to learn the keys inside out and to make progress throughout the 8-week period. We've then also, with every key, given you extra tasks if you have time, or if you want to do those after the 8-week live version is finished, you can then go back and do it. So if you want to just keep up and you've got limited time, we do it through an hour a week. 1 to 2 hours really is what I recommend. The more time you have, obviously, you're going to get a lot out of it. And so it is a really enriching experience. But what you'll learn in the 8 weeks, you can replicate this in the future. You're learning the keys and the framework. That's what you're learning so that you can apply it again in the future. So in terms of time, that's what I would say. And there is one Q&A call that you don't have to be there live for. You submit your question in advance. And that question, the Q&A session, is about the key that we're focusing on that week. So the course material comes out on the Monday, and then you've got time to go over that. And then you can submit me a question in advance, and then I'll answer it on the Wednesday. And then you've got a check-in post on the Friday to let us know how you're getting on and if you're struggling, and we're going to be there to help you. And the first thing we're going to do when you get in there is help you sort your time out. So that's the first task we're going to do, is help you decide, when am I going to commit to doing the course? And we're going to help you. Like I juggle so many things, but I always invest my time in learning and developing. And I have a membership site that I'm in, and I carve out time on a Tuesday evening to work on that. And I do the replays of the calls because I can't attend them live, and I build them into my calendar. So I make sure that I make time for learning. So that's the first thing we're going to do when you get inside the course, is help you with carving out that time and deciding when you're going to commit to doing it. If you can make it a regular time each week, I know that's not always doable for lots of people, but if you can make it the same time, like I remember when I was doing a book writing course with Beth Kempton, and I was actually struggling to do it on Tuesday evening because I already had something else on Tuesday evenings that I was learning. So this was an extra course on top of the course that I was already doing. And then I ended up doing it on a Sunday evening. So I'd get the children to bed, sit down, grab a drink, and then I'd do 2 hours on a Sunday after the kids were in bed. And that became my ritual, and I absolutely loved it. And every night I was sitting listening to course material on the sofa on a Sunday. So yeah, if you can make it a habit, you soon get used to it then. But that's what we're going to do. And also talking about organization, because it's something that people ask me about a lot. And a lot of people say to me, like, how can you do all the things that you do? I'm a single parent. I'm running United Art Space. I have courses. I have a membership. I have lots of things going on. I'm writing a book. And I'm going to teach you in the action key how I do all the things that I do. And I'm also going to teach you how I get laser focused on the most important tasks to focus on. And I want to help you learn how to do that too. And I'll share with you all of my templates that I use, that I pin out on my wall. And I'll show you how I manage my time daily, weekly, monthly. Again, this isn't going to just help you with your art, it's going to help you with your life because we go into a lot of detail in terms of planning and how to get really focused on what it is that you want to do, what to say no to, what to say yes to, and how you actually make it happen, and how you manage those 24 hours in a day that you have. So I love that key. I love the action key. And actually, when you take the course, it will lead nicely into our Best Year Yet event, which we run in January, that you'll have, you'll access the upgrade to that as well. So yeah, this course, we time it this way because then we start doing big planning for 2024, late December and January. And so when you've gone through the 7 keys, you're going to get really clear on, you know, the art you make, why you make it, who it's for, your next steps. You're going to create a success plan at the end, knowing exactly the direction you're going to be going in. And then in January, you can do Best Year Yet and really plan your whole year and what you're going to do. If that sounds interesting, that might sound like, oh, to some people, if you're not kind of a planner or honestly, this framework, so I remember Simone saying to me, I never liked planning, I never liked to-do lists, I always used to hide my head in what I was spending. We're going to help you bring all of this to the surface and get on top of your life and help you grow confidence in what you're doing. So that's a lot in the action key. It's about you gaining control of your time, your finances, and getting really clear on the steps that you need to take. Especially if you want to earn money, it's about getting really clear on the money that you want to earn, how you're going to make that happen, where focus goes, energy flows. So we're going to focus on that goal, that money goal, and be intentional about what you're going to do, and make it happen. So yes, let me go to the next question. Okay. Yes, Bernie, you're live. You are. Tuning in from Ireland. It's so good to see you here. Okay, let me go to the next question. So, the next question is, oh yes, this was a good one. I found the workshops fast paced and I'm worried the course will be too fast for me. Is it the same? So no, I mean, I love running these events and I give, as you've probably seen, I give it everything and I try and give you as much as I can because I only run it once a year. And we have obviously the workshop and we have structure around that, and then we do extra sessions. I like to just show up. I like to listen to what people are asking, and then I'll just go live. It's very spontaneous and there's lots of stuff going on. No, the course isn't as intense. It's broken down into really clear steps, with, the course comes out on a Monday, you have a Q&A on a Wednesday, and that's it. And then there's conversation in the community, which is off social media. So you can get involved in the community and chat to people. You'll probably share work that you're working on, each of you. When we get to writing about your work, you're going to do that inside the community. We'll encourage you to share it so we can help you. We can give you some feedback on the way that you're describing your work. The why. So when people ask, can I share my work? You won't want to share everything with us, because when we go through the why, for example, there are a lot of questions we're going to be asking you in a PDF format for you to go off and explore and pour out your why. We're going to be there to help you if you're stuck with any of the questions, but we wouldn't be able to read all, you might have thousands of words which we wouldn't be able to read, but we would encourage you to bring, your takeaways from that session that we do, and we can look at small parts together, but we will guide you on this process. So we'll say, come and share what was the key thing that you took from that big worksheet that you did. And we'll help you ask the right questions if you feel that you're stuck and you've kind of like pulled all these answers out of your why and you don't know how to now assimilate that. We'll guide you. So we've been running this course now for 6 years. It's in its 6th year. So I literally have taken thousands of artists through this program. It's in the thousands now. And so, we really do understand the process. We understand the struggles that you're going to face. The challenges that you bring, we will have seen them and heard them time and time again. So I totally went off on a tangent then. So the workshops are fast paced, but the course isn't. And I was talking about being inside the community. I think of the community as like a cafe, and lots of people might be sharing. You walk into a cafe, there's lots of tables with different conversation going on. So every post is like a different table. And you can choose to go into the cafe and hop around different tables going, oh, you're talking about the why. Oh, you're talking about pricing. As we won't be talking about everything at the beginning. We're going to go through the keys one step at a time. And you can choose to go in the cafe and chat around at these different tables, or you can choose to just not and observe and listen in, or you can just look at the window. And the window is the is the like notice board of what's going on this week. So you don't want to go inside the cafe because maybe it's a bit overwhelming with all the chatter, but you want to just go into the announcements section. So you don't even go into the community, you go into the announcements section and you'll see that this week we're focusing on mindset. This week there's a Q&A with Michelle. This is when it is. There's a check-in post on Friday. This is where that post is. Here's the post to talk to your rep. It's got like very, very simple messages on there, and you can just dip into the community in that way. You don't have to go into the full cafe. So, and then with each key, so each key is released on a Monday. Each video is under 10 minutes. You also get a download with each key. There's usually a overview of that key with a recap. There's usually some kind of worksheet to ask you some questions. And there is a recap page with your actions, and it tells you the pathway that you've got to take for that key, which is great because after the course is finished, if you don't want to sit and go through the whole key again, you can just print out the recap pages and you'll know exactly what to do for that key. Another question was, how is Make Art Your Living workshop different to the course? This is another great question. So the Make Art Your Living workshop is really an introduction to the 7 keys. And so inside the program, we go into much more detail in terms of helping you understand that key and helping you start to understand the questions to ask when you're in that key. So, for example, in the mindset, when we go through mindset, we're going to teach you how to overcome money blocks. We're going to put a big emphasis on this. We're going to be looking at your money mindset. We're going to be looking at how you reframe thoughts that are limiting you and getting in your way. We're going to start to teach you how to dream a bit bigger than you are, because there's probably a lot of, again, limiting beliefs that you've placed on what you can achieve in terms of your time, in terms of where you are, in terms of the people that surround you, in terms of your ability. So we want to help you in this key start to push away the ceiling that you've put over the top of your head and start to help you open your eyes to the possibilities that are much bigger than you've ever considered. So we're going into a lot more detail into how you can use these keys. And then when we get into the why, we've got a whole booklet to really dig into your journey. It's a real big soul searching, the why, and the answers that you provide from that key alone are going to write your social media posts. They're going to teach you more about your artwork. They're going to write your bio or your website copy. And we'll teach you how to sort all of that out when we go into the later keys. But when you're in that why, you're just going to pour it out. You're not going to think about how you're going to use it. You're just going to pour out. So it's a really good key. I love that one. I can't wait to get involved in the why. I'm going to be doing the course with you. And then the what, we go into a lot more detail. Obviously, in the workshops, we've just used your one artwork. So we're going to be looking at all of your artwork. We're going to be thinking about artwork in collections and what's your thread. We're going to help you start to really articulate the artwork, what it is. We'll be looking at the purpose, really helping you understand the purpose of your work, what makes you unique in terms of the what. And then when we have done all of that amazing work, we'll then start to be able to pick out the clues of who your people are. We're going to help you write your profile, your customer profile, so that you know exactly who you're speaking to. When you write your social media posts and you create your website, you'll know who you're trying to attract. And then we'll start to help you break down the buckets of your who, so that you know who you need to start to connect with. So you'll have a really good grasp of your who by that point. And then the where is then finding those next 1 to 3 places that are going to be suitable for your artwork, not just picking places randomly, really thinking about the keys so far and the return on investment for the places that you choose, and your who. We're going to be thinking a lot about your who. Are they in these places? And then when we move into the how, that is then about creating a sales plan. creating a marketing plan. We're going to get you to write your mission statement, your bio. We'll get you to start speaking about your work, talking about your work, and pricing. We want to help you then at that point really price with confidence. So the how is a big one, which is why we've split it over 2 weeks. And you don't have to create the plans in that 2 weeks. We're going to teach you how to do it. But again, we're going to break all of this down for you into little steps so it's manageable. And then obviously we're going to be doing some power houring together. So we've created templates for you. If you feel awkward about reaching out to people, they're going to be templates that you can just copy and paste. And we've put in the places that you talk about your why here, talk about your what here, and send that off to people. So we're going to be doing that during the course. We're going to be starting to reach out to build up your art world, to carve out your place. So you'll be doing that in the course so that we can support you throughout that process, because you might have some rejections, you might have some wins, you might have some questions. And then we get into the final key, which is the action, which is where we're going to help you write your success plan. So we're going to basically pull out all the keys top level so you can see them in one document, and it's going to make so much sense then what you're actually doing and where you're going. And that can then go on to get you grants and submit to galleries. And that success plan, you could go to all sorts of places to get interest in your work. You'll be able to show people that this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what my mission is, and here's my plan of how I'm going to do this. And we've had lots of people go on to get grants after they've taken this course. And then in that action is also, like I said earlier, we're going to be helping you to organize your time. I'm going to be sharing my templates that I use to get clear on my next steps and how I organize my day and my weeks and my months. And we're going to, what was the other thing in the action? There was one more thing. There was a success plan, showing those bits. And it's whittling it down then to your next 1 to 3 steps so that you're clear on the next 1 to 3 steps of what's most important. So no more worrying about a website if it's not a website you need to be focusing on. No more worrying about things down the line if they're months ahead. You don't need to be thinking about them now. So it's about getting really clear on the next 1 to 3 steps. The next question was, how is the course structured? And I think I've just explained that one. Okay, let me go to... I know. Ryan says, wait, what day is it? I know I never go live in a weekend. Never, ever. And do you know, everyone's gone off to have Sunday roast dinner and I'm left here just with my smoothie. But I really wanted to do this session because I know that people have questions. So yes, I'm live on a Sunday afternoon, and I had the jazz music on before I came on. It was all relaxed and the house is quiet. Okay, someone says here, I'm really worried about the cost and what I will get out of it. So I understand. I mean, when I sign up to things, I have the same fears. I think it's normal. And here's the thing, when you learn this about other people, the same thing will be happening with your art. People will have the same fear around investing in your art. They'll be scared. So actually, when we take you through the program, we'll teach you this, that when people are afraid to buy, there are things that you can do to help people ease that concern. And so what we do is we give you a 14-day money back guarantee. So if you take the course, sign up to the course, and then in a week you just think this just really isn't for me, we will refund you. You've got 14 days within that 14-day period. We have structured this course so you get lots of support, and the content is downloadable. So you will return back to this. I mean, you've seen how many people have said they return back to this year after year after year, and their art practice has grown. And so many people have made money, the course fee at least, back from this course. Many people are making a full-time living. This is after they've been stuck for decades. So I understand the concern. We've done everything we can to support you and take you through it, to make it clear when you download it and how you can put this into practice without our help. And the other thing I will say is, you can look at it as like, will I get my money back from what I sell, which is totally possible. but also the keys, because we are covering a big piece about mindset and getting organized and why you're doing what you're doing. And of course, we're relating this to art, but this is a course that's going to open up so much in your life when you learn how to organize your time and learn how to reframe your thoughts and work on your money mindset. It opens up so much more than selling art. It's teaching you how to react to situations and how to be more empowered and to grow confidence. And that investment in yourself is amazing. And I share this because that's what most people have said back to me, that, earning the money back is fantastic, but actually the person that they have become because of this program is everything. And all it takes is an hour a week. Of course, the more you put in, the more you're gonna get out of it. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that in an hour a week you can change your life in 8 weeks, although you can. When you really figure out and work on your mindset, you can. But, yes, and of course, I just want to talk about the payment plans as well, because we have put in the extra payment plan, which lets you spread the cost over 7 months. So it's 7 keys in 7 months. And so over that time, you can really take your time, digest the information, lean into the keys. And then I'm going to be doing those monthly coaching calls right into April 2024 to keep you accountable, to answer your questions. And so I'd like to think that we can work out how you can earn £600 from your artwork and put a plan into place to do that and more. Um, and if that is your intention, I'll do everything I can to help you with that. But one thing I don't want you to do if you take the course, though, is just to focus on that, because if you come in stressed thinking, I need to make this money back, I need to make this money back, you're going to really miss the journey of opening up to the why and understanding your work and piecing things together. That is where the gold is. And that's what's going to help you sell. So, oh, this was a good one that came in today saying, I'm finding it really hard to invest in myself. I almost feel guilty. Right. I understand this because I feel guilty all the time, because I I'm a single parent, and my kids have got clubs and they've got things, and they get all of my income. even even when, I'm just gonna have a little outburst while they're not here. you know Even the food we eat, I buy nice fruit, nice stuff. They get to eat the majority of it. I always feel guilty even if I take some fruit out of the bowl, because I think, oh gosh, they might need it in the week. So I understand the guilt sometimes, and it's crazy. I mean, that one is a big one, actually, the fruit things. I stopped eating it because I was so guilty about it. For me, it was like their fruit. And anyway, obviously the mindset thing I had to work on. Michelle, it's okay to eat the grapes. You bought them. They're not gonna like waste away. Um, and I remember when I first started out, setting up United Art Space, and I invested, and I had no money. I was in debt. I was always struggling financially, always. And I remember years ago, and it was, I don't know how long, but I saw a course and I had this dream to I didn't really have United Art Space in my head back then. I just had a dream to just live life on my own terms. And I'd come across someone called Beth Kempton, and she was running a program called Do What You Love for Life. And I haven't been brought up that way, where you do things you love. I've been brought up in a working class area, really rough council estate, where opportunities don't come to people like us. And you get a job in a factory and you don't get an education. Like, that's the way I was brought up. Like, my dad was furious when I said I wanted to go to college, really angry. Anyway, so that led to, for me to have some hang-ups, definitely. And I remember when I first had this dream of, oh my gosh, maybe I could do something here and create my own business or something, and coming across Beth, and she planted the seed. And there was this course at the time, and this was years ago. There weren't many online courses back then, and it was a big investment, and it was £2,000. I mean, I cannot tell you how much that was to me at that point. It was crazy money, but I knew, I don't know, I just knew that, oh my gosh, if I want to do this, I need to invest in myself. I felt so guilty. And I have to say, I had this dream that I was going to bring that money in really quickly, and I didn't. But I am so glad I did it back then, because that was the catalyst for me getting to where I am today. And that 100% taught me so much, that course. And there was just a lot of things that I had to get, I had to get over myself. I was totally blocked. That's why it didn't work for me quickly. But anyway, so a long story short is I still carry that guilt now. And I'm better at it now, and I do more. Like, I'm going to Nashville in a few weeks, and the guilt is there. I feel guilty because I'm leaving the children. I'm paying for it, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got this house now. Maybe I should be buying a new toilet instead. you know, but I know that these programs and everything that I invest in, because I do invest in courses, I'm always learning. I mean, when I compare myself now, the person I am, to who I was years ago on those council estates, is unrecognizable. I just can't believe it, actually. And I wish I could give you like a little video clip of where I come from, because and it's from taking that time to invest. So I know I feel guilty for it, but the guilt now is eased by, this is an investment in myself, and I know that when I work towards this, I am going to grow as a person. And I now use my intuition as well. I'll know if something feels right. Um, for example, there was another course that I signed up to on a whim a couple of years ago, and I went through all the turmoil, and I was like, oh God, I've seen this course. And I knew in my heart it was the right thing to do. I knew it. And so I bit the bullet and I did it. And again, that course didn't bring me the money back that I thought it would, but it's helped me. 2 years later, I've gone back and I've taken what I learned from that course. Steve Jobs said once, you have to trust that the dots in your life add up to the bigger picture. And whatever you choose to do in that moment, it's adding to something. Like, there's a reason that you're here. There's a reason that you decided to do something. And everyone that's decided to do the 7 Keys course, you're a dot. This is the dot in your bigger picture of your life. And who knows what that dot is contributing towards. And Steve Jobs said that when he gave up his university course, his family were outraged and everyone was like, what are you doing? And he remembered walking down the street and saw a sign outside this building that said typography course, and he'd just given up this big degree and walked into a typography course and said, I'm doing this now. And everyone was like, what are you doing? You're not going to make money out of typography. And he said, I don't know, it just feels right. I want to do it. And everyone was outraged. I'll never forget him sharing this story. And then years later, when he worked on Apple, he used the font from the typography course, which became the biggest brand in the world. And I just love that story, because I just think, whatever, all these parts and things that we do come around again, or it's just never wasted. And this is the thing, when you take the 7 Keys course, it's not going to be wasted, because you're going to learn so much. And I know it. In a few years, you'll still look back and think, oh, that's what I learned from the 7 Keys course. Or I'm stuck. Oh, I'm going to dig out that 7 Keys course because I know the answers in there. So yeah, in terms of the guilt, I know it's a tricky one, and I just think I just now lean into the bigger picture, the dots, to make myself feel better, and the intuition. Oh, this was one as well. Someone says here, what if I'm kidding myself? I can make a living and I make nothing. Oh, I've heard this one. I mean, so many times I've heard this one, and there's so many people that have come into my world now and just say that don't believe that what you're saying is possible for me. Oh my gosh, it makes me want to cry this bit because let me just get a grip a second because there's memories now flooding back from people that I've worked with. So a lot of the time, these thoughts have come from other people saying horrible things to you. So when I've dug into the fear that people have when they say, I don't actually believe that this is possible for myself. And I was that person. I didn't believe when I came across Beth Kempton, I thought, no way can you do what you love for life because I was brought up with you steal, you I mean, it's awful. The things that I've seen people do for money from where I was from, horrendous. And that's what I thought is that's the only way you make money is in a wrong way. And so that whole concept just I was very skeptical. Um and I've completely lost my train of thought. It was it and people coming in. So when I've spoken to people about where it comes from, this negativity we have about ourselves, this like lack of belief that we can do it, it's usually from family and friends, unfortunately, a lot of the time that have cast opinion on, or, I don't think you're going to get anywhere with that, or you're ridiculous. And I don't want to go into the ins and outs, but a lot worse comments than that from family and friends. Art tutors, this is a big one. Not all art tutors are like this, but there are so many people that have come through our community that have said that they were totally ridiculed, told that they were crap artists, that they should just give up, they're never going to get anywhere, there's no point them doing what they do. I've heard it so many times, it's heartbreaking. And so many of those people, and I was one included, didn't make art then for decades. And it stays with you. Those comments stay with you. And then the other thing is, it's struggle that's real. So this was for me. I always struggled. I always struggled financially. I always came across problems, obstacles, and I literally convinced myself that I was broken. And I convinced myself I'll never earn more money than I was earning years ago. I have dyslexia and ADHD. That's why this is not going to be possible for me. I told myself so many stories about why I couldn't achieve or move on to get success or create a life on my own terms. I was so blocked. And so having now, though, gone through this program, what I know to be sure, the mindset is huge. And I know if I can do this, you can do it. I really, truly, with my heart, believe that. People sit here and watch me thinking that I've got it all figured out. I don't. I have so many hang-ups, so many things. And so many people have gone through the program and said one of the best things it's given them is confidence. They start to break down those stories over time that they're not good enough. And that's why in the mindset key, we want to help you start creating a vision for your life of what it could be like. Because anything is possible. Anything. You can live your life on any terms. I'm a big believer in this, that you create success on purpose. You can design your own life. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But when you want to create a life on your own terms, it's totally worth putting the effort in. So one of the things that has also come from this program, some people have taken this and they're not making a living. Not everyone who's taken this go on to make a full-time living. But some people take it for so many reasons. Some people come in because they want to make a living, but then they go on this amazing journey in self-discovery and they realize that, oh my gosh, that is not what is important to me. This unraveling of me being an artist and my mindset and living life on my own terms is what I want to focus on. And they come back and say, wow, this has just been the most incredible journey. Or it wakes people up to different things that they want in life. And so sometimes, it's about making the money, but it's also about the incredible journey you're about to embark on. So it's that emphasis again on focusing on it has to work for this. I have to do this. And when we learn how to let that go, that's usually when you will hit the goal. I say this, if you're coming from a place of selling from desperation, If you're pricing your work and you're selling because I'm like, I need to sell, I've got to make this work. If you're coming from that place, it's a struggle. It's hard. You kind of like start to attract. I know this sounds woo now, but it's so true because it's where focus goes, energy flows. You start to feel the heaviness. Um, and so, literally reframing your thoughts is going to be so empowering in terms of your belief in the potential to make these things happen. Oh gosh, I do laugh. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at myself and just the way I go off on major tangents. Sometimes I even forget, like, what was the question again? Oh, this was another one. Right, okay. Someone said to me, I can't see how I can make this happen with the limited time and resources that I have. And I was talking with a guy yesterday. Oh my gosh, he's an amazing talent. He's an artist, but he creates music. And he's created all of these obstacles for himself. So he thinks that to get his music out there, he's got to spend thousands on a music video, that he's got to have like this big set, this big orchestra, and he's broke himself. He's just spent like £15,000 on all this stuff and he's run out of money and he can't finish the project. And I was like, but why did you need to spend that? And this is the thing. Sometimes we think that we've got to get all of these things in place and I must feel this way, or I must have the website, or I must have this in place, or I must have all the work first. I must feel confident. I must. And it's like, you've got to be careful sometimes of these brick walls and that you're putting in the journey. So this is like the pathway of our journey. And we want to kind of cut back the weeds, clear the pathway so that we can kind of glide across. Of course, there's going to be some bumps in the road, but what you don't want to do is start building these massive walls on your pathway that don't need to be there. Like, why would you put all these big hurdles in place? Like, I need money, or I need lots of work, or I need these things. And I think it's Tony Robbins that says it's about being resourceful with what you have. And when I think back now to setting up United Art Space, I didn't have a penny, and I was in debt, and I managed. And I sometimes think back now, it's like, wow, how did I do that? I became resourceful. And it wasn't easy. I worked really hard, but and I was speaking to someone. No, I didn't speak to them. I saw a post, and I can't remember who posted this, but she said, I found myself sitting with just £60. And it was because of the 7 keys that I really learned how to use that £60 to get in front of my people. And she went on to have commissions, a show like that £60. Just, she said, that was what I learned from the 7 keys. And this is what I want to teach you, is how to be resourceful with what you have. That was such a great question, because we can get so blocked with, I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough resources, I don't have this, I don't have that. We've got everything that we need. Just Dr. Viv, one artwork. She had one artwork. She just got out of her own way, got out there, talked about it. It went on to go around the world. And now she's had involvement in so many projects, and she just bashed down the walls on the pathway. She just knocked them down and went out there and did it. She didn't even have a website. She just talked to people. So okay, next one. Do I have to finish the workshops before starting the course? No. The 7 Keys course is written with the assumption that you haven't taken the Make Art Your Living workshops. So we kind of just clear the slate. We're going to just start again with you from the very beginning. So you don't have to have taken the workshops. Just go through, I would say, if you haven't done them now, just leave them. Go through the 7 Keys course with us, because we're going to guide you along the steps. I can't wait. Okay, let me just check my list, because I just want to make sure that I haven't missed anything. That was one last one that keeps cropping up as well, that I need to go off and make work before I do it. No, you don't have to, because this course is going to teach you the artwork to make. I've seen so many people go off and make art and they come back and then they get in the course and then they change direction. But also, when you make art with the 7 keys alongside, and this is the example of Dr. Viv, in fact, Dr. Viv had that one artwork, started to get it out into the world, and then she started to understand who her people were because they were interested in her story. And then that's when projects came along and she developed her work as she was learning from her who. And so that's how the work developed. And the more you can do that, create work alongside your people. So, for example, if you're working on a collection, you want to start as early as possible to start engaging your audience whilst you're making them. Don't go down the rabbit hole, come and just announce it. Tease people, tell them I'm working on this project. You share behind the scenes. We've had people selling their artwork in progress before they've even sold it. And then you kind of have this really lovely engagement then with your people as you're going along, and someone might suggest something and you think, yeah, I could do that. And it's all organic, and you don't do this alone. So that was another great question. Okay. Let me go to the chat quickly and then I'll wrap up. Let me see. I'm live one last time tomorrow for a closing party. So I love to do these closing parties, and it's a moment for you to share your one takeaway from the event so far, and to celebrate everything that we've learned, and to share everyone's wins, and we just wrap it up. So I really like to do those sessions as we end. Oh, Katrina, I miss Friday, so I'm grabbing a bonus today while I finally set up my stuff in my new house. Wonderful. Just been for a walk on the beach. Oh my gosh, this will be my best year yet. Yes. Let me just see. There's a question here. I've watched some of the videos, but I got lost. So if you're catching up now on the workshops, which are coming down in a few hours, just watch workshop 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Don't try and watch all the other videos that are on the event page, because there's Q&A sessions and talks with alumni. And as lovely as they are, the gold is in those workshops. You need to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. So let me just go back to your question. Sorry. I'm interested, but I'd like to know the same. If I can do it even if I have just 1 or 2 days a week. So the course is, you do the course in your own time, but you have crazy amounts of support in the community. And there's one live session a week, but you don't have to attend live. 20% of people will be there on the live call. You send your question in advance. So you need 1 to 2 hours a week. That's it. If you can invest more time, it would be beneficial. But if you start with the 1 to 2 hours, and then you can add more time as you go along. And then the price of the course is all on the link above, because we've now got different payment plans. So it's going to be way too confusing for me to outline. If you click the link above, and then you click to go through to join the 7 Keys course, it will come up on a page and tell you all the different options, because you can pay in full. You can spread the cost over 3 months. And then we added a 7-month payment plan just a few days ago. Karen says, is there a naughty table? We do have a virtual naughty corner. We've actually got, it's an actual thing. We've got one of our artists, David Judd, actually created the image of what the naughty corner looks like. So I should share that out this week, as so many of you have been in there. Oh my gosh, Juliet says, I made my first sale this week. I realized that I may have not priced correctly, but I know I will have customers, and this workshop has helped me create a proper business structure. So thank you, Juliet. Amazing. Yeah, don't worry about getting it wrong. So I think with pricing, you've just got to get going. I think it's amazing. The feeling of making that sale and then saying on your social media or wherever, I've made a sale, here it is. the motivation to keep going and the feeling sometimes outweighs the monetary return in the beginning. And then, like you say, then you'll learn. The more you learn about the 7 keys, the more you'll learn about your pricing. And that's great. So, yes. Oh, Juliet, and you're gonna save for the course next year. That's so sweet. I love that. Um Oh, that's so lovely. Some of you said, "I can't join it this year, but I just wanna wish you all, great success." That is so sweet, and we know it's not for everybody, which is why we give so much during the free workshop. So, I hope those who aren't gonna sign up just, lean into what you've learned. It's been the most amazing experience, so I'm glad that you all signed up and contributed because it's been a really, really lovely event. Um, Hi, Angela. Oh, Thadian, so good to see you here. I did the 7 keys in 2021. I still refer to the learning each week. It's a distillation of all Michelle's experience and an investment in your professional development, artistic and otherwise. Oh, thank you so much. We had such a great time, didn't we, in 2021? Like every year we do. Katrina says, I got some surprise dividends. Guess what I'm going to do with them? Oh, I love it when a sign comes. When you sat on the fence of something sometimes and then something comes in the pathway and you're like, right, this is telling me to go ahead. That happened to me the other day. What was it now? Oh, I can't remember. I don't know. Benny says, I feel a little bit conflicted, like how you said your dad reacted when you suggested setting up a birdhouse business. Or I think I want to feel valued and want to share what I do on a larger scale. But the idea of being spotlight is scary and unknown for me. Oh, Bernie, let me explain this feeling because you don't have to do it on a large scale. This is the exciting part. You don't actually need that many people to get going. When you think and you break it down that I've got one artwork, I need one person to buy it. That's it. One artwork, one person. And if you want to sell 5, you need 5 people. And when you really break it down, it's not that many people. And if you nurture relationships, and in fact, I've seen this happen that people with very, very small audiences, when they go through the keys and they grow quality people that are engaged with the work, higher conversion rates. So if you just try and cast a wide net and have like volume and thousands of people, lower conversion rates. So when you do this and you build up a few people in your network and you do those power hours and you're just reaching out to a few people and it grows organically and really authentically like that, your higher conversion rates. So you don't actually need thousands and thousands of people. You don't even need to be in the spotlight. You don't even need to reveal yourself. Look at Banksy. We don't even know who Banksy is. There are so many ways to be an artist on your own terms. You can still share about the work through a guise or there's so many ways. So many ways. You don't have to be in the spotlight. And that again comes from us trying to predict the future. So when we think about success, I do this with the book. I immediately think of myself on a stage, being grilled, being asked questions, and I can't answer them. And it doesn't have to be like that. That's our brain's tendency to try and create a picture of what it's just not even real. That's just me just making something up that's just not even going to happen. And actually, the more we work through the keys, we can actually create a picture that feels amazing. So, Bernie, what feels amazing to you? Having a few people who like your artwork and you're not in the spotlight. You're comfortable. You're maybe sat at your computer and you're not even sharing the personal parts of yourself because you don't want to. All of that is valid and you get to choose. So that's what we're going to be leaning into in the mindset is when you create we call it your big vision. Your big vision can be to you simple, small. I don't want many people. That's your big vision. So it doesn't have to be like big, like I need thousands of people and I need to be jumping off of an airplane to prove that I'm brave. And like I used to think all of that. So you get to choose. You're the captain of your own ship. But I get it. That fear thing, exactly. It's real. I experience it every day still. The pineapple's still here. I'll tell you a funny story. It's starting to smell now. I don't think it's edible. I actually couldn't eat it because I can't eat pineapple right now. I've got this weird, don't want to bore you with it. It's called mast cell disease, and I've got like a histamine intolerance. So anything with histamine in it, my body reacts, and I have like allergic reactions and all sorts. And pineapple is one of the things. I can't eat pineapple. The irony of that, of the pineapple being so big in my life, and I looked at the list, I was like, oh, pineapples, I can't eat pineapples. It's not forever. I've got to detox off things. I like Sunday Michelle. That's because I was just hanging out before I came on listening to Jazz Cafe, you know. Oh. Tracy's got a great question. Before one does the 7 keys, should we register as self-employed? No, definitely not. Because again, this could be focusing on something that you don't actually need. So we're going to focus on the next right steps. There's no point doing that if you don't actually need to. Because as you go through the keys, you're going to unravel where you want to go and who your people are. And it might not be the time yet to do that. It might be as you go through, and then we can get to that and go, right, now is the time to go register as self-employed, but you might not need to yet. So, and that was a good other question actually, just reminded me of, is that can we put this through our business as a business expense? If you do have a business, it's an expense. Yes, you put it through, you save the receipt, you put it through, and it reduces your tax bill if you're at that stage. Oh my gosh! Sorry, that's so high pitched. It's Ryan's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Oh, that's amazing. Happy birthday. So what you doing? Sleep? You got your dog asleep and I can't move. What are you doing then for your birthday? Are you going out or oh, you can have the fruit, but don't touch my post-its. Oh yeah, don't the kids. Oh yeah, they've learned not to touch my post-it notes because they used to go missing. And now I just give them because I've got extra sticky post-it notes. They're not allowed those ones. They can use the average post-it note. And not have to touch the extra sticky ones. They've learned now. That's so funny. Yeah, Karen, the council estate mentality. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. It's taken me, I still haven't grown out of it. It's embedded because it was a long time. Um, oh, Angela says the 7 Keys course is still so helpful. 3 years on. Yeah, thank you. Let me just see. Lisa, good to see you here, Lisa. It's not just about making back the money spent. It's about the friends. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. I mean, you've seen the people in the community, just even here on this conversation. We have the most incredible community, and it's because the program, the workshop, is tailored to sieve the wrong people away. And we're left with all these gorgeous people like you. And yes, you'll make friends and contacts and have fun. Yeah, we want to make it fun. We will giggle all the way through. Absolutely. If you have the money, it's just one way to measure success. It is. Yeah, yeah, it's great, isn't it, if you can, but it's not the only measure. 100%. Thank you for that, Lisa. You said it beautifully, better than I can say. Okay. Oh, Lee says this, your best investment is always in yourself. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. Ryan says, I had awful tutors, treated me so badly, and actually said, why should I care? You're my potential competition. Oh my God. No. That is crazy. I can't believe that. Oh, Juliet says, I was never able to invest in myself because I'm a single parent, but my son is now 24 and I'm finally feeling that I can do me. Oh, do you know, when I became a single parent, I remember some advice going, right, that's it, you need to cut back, you're going to be skint now, you're going to really struggle, this is going to be hard. I remember someone saying that to me, and I started to look at places, like really run down places back in like close to the places that I used to live. And I was thinking, "Oh, I just can't go back to that." And and I do remember there was something in me that just clicked. And I thought, no, I'm not. No, I'm going to design my own life. I want to stay in this house. And it's the difference between just turning it around, and I was able to do it, to just nearly just going off down that road, admitting defeat straight away, just like, "Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be hard. I'm just gonna just go down this road now," and just and it was so simple to just flip it around and go, "No, no, I'm not." So, yeah, I'm glad that you can finally do you now, Juliet. That's brilliant. Um, Ryan says, "Honestly, this course will steer you in the right direction. I feel passionately about that." Yeah. And when, Ryan and all of us will say, it's the most amazing experience. There's going to be challenges. You're going to find, I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to breeze through and it's going to be happy. The majority of the time it will, but you are going to face some questions and you won't be able to answer them. And you might get confused. There will be points where you maybe feel a little bit overwhelmed, but we're there. That's why we give you that support, because we want to help you overcome that. Don't let those feelings get in your way, because it's going to happen with whatever course you do or whatever you do in life, which is why the mindset is so important. Because if you can learn how to deal with the bits of overwhelm, the confusion, feeling uncomfortable, learning how to deal with that, learning how to deal with rejection, learning how to sit, being, what's that phrase? Learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't think it's that, but that's the premise. um, it's such a big part of all of this and the program. The irony is, those painful points that you're going to have as you go through the course are teaching you how to deal with them, so that when you go off into life and you have to deal with the painful bits, you're going to remember from the keys, okay, I just need to reframe this, or I need to go back to that 3-part framework that Michelle taught me in mindset. um oh, Alex, thank you. I mean, yeah. Yes, Juliet, there are spots open for the Seven Keys course. We close enrollment tomorrow, so there's less than 24 hours to sign up. It closes tomorrow at 12 noon, and then we go into week of welcome. Um, yes, Stephanie, there are PDFs in the course. So with each key, you get a worksheet, you get a download that talks more about that key and gives you a recap. And you also get a recap page of actions. So all of your actions are laid out on one page very clearly, with your one main action for that key. And then if you have more time, what actions you can do either during the course or in the future when you return back to the keys. So yeah, it's laid out very, very nicely. It's very clear. You've got 10-minute videos laid in a line, and then a button at the side to download your PDFs. And then you can download all of those as well for life, and you can download the audio. So you've got the whole course for life, and it's comprehensive. There's, especially when we get to the how, you've got everything in there that you need to make art a living. Everything that you need is in there. So it's then about how you apply it. But that's what we want to teach you during the course as well. We're not just giving you the how, we're giving you how to apply it, how to overcome your mindset, how to dig into your why, how to ask the right questions when you go off in life and try and figure this out. We're focusing on all of that, as well as just sharing, like, this is how you do it. Are there examples provided for each step? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, lots of examples, especially like when we talk about how to create a collection. We've got how to create a collection of work, and we show you other people's collections of how other people have created collections from 3 artworks to 100 artworks. When we do the bios and statements, there's all examples of how to write a bio, how to write a statement. We've given examples in that course for you. The why questions there's no examples in the why, because the why is individual to you. Like, we don't want to give you ideas. That's about you soul searching. But everything else, yeah, there's examples. Yeah. Oh, Pale, hello. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely examples are helpful. And of course, you get assigned a rep, and the reps have done the keys time and time again. So they'll share their work with you, they'll share how they've approached this process with you. I'll be taking the Seven Keys course myself, and I'm going to be setting up an extra playlist inside the course, taking you behind the scenes of how I'm doing it for my book, for my art, and for a new project that I don't even understand what it is yet. So one that's in the very early stages of no clue. I don't even know what it is. I know a vague bit of my why, but I don't know. So I'm actually going to be doing it with you. I'm excited to dig into this. It's just a calling that I can feel. The book, which is well into the keys now, I'll talk to you about how I've run it through the keys in the early stages and what stage I'm at now with the book and how I'm running that through the keys. And then my art, which is kind of midway through the keys. So you've got 3 examples there as well that I'll be sharing with you as I go along. Yeah, Ryan says I'm going to go through the keys again too. Yeah, and Ryan was saying he's just been dipping in and out of the pricing stuff, and there's so much to implement that you'll have that resource there for life. You'll just keep nipping back, in like a year's time, and you think, oh, I've got to kind of really figure out where I'm going again because my artwork's changing. You'll just nip back to the what. Yeah, when your who start to evolve or you want to go deeper, you'll just go back to that key. And because you've got that recap page, you don't have to go through the whole course again. And the other thing, very quickly, and then I've got to wrap up, you can actually go in and search in the video content. So if you've made notes whilst you're listening to the course material, and I say, for example, when you're working on your why, it's important to consider XYZ. You can actually go in and search XYZ, and it will take you to the very point I talked about XYZ in the video. So you don't have to go searching, trying to think, gosh, I know I heard something in this key and I don't know how to find it again. You search the keyword and it will take you right to the video. It's an amazing platform for that. The Q&A sessions, if I answer a question and in a year's time, you go, oh, I just need to go back and listen to Michelle's response again because I think I need it. You go into the platform and search, and it will take you to the question, rather than you having to listen through the whole thing trying to find your question being answered. So, yes, it can be applied to so many different products. Yeah, anything. My friend's a mechanic and he uses it. Literally, he changed his job from being a mechanic to doing up camper vans, and he used the 7 keys. He just listens to my videos and does the free workshops, and he said I've used them to redo my whole career. So this is why I open them up to everyone, because I think, well, you can follow along if you're a mechanic or a plumber or a counsellor. I've had people say that too. Okay, right, that's it. So if you want to join us, if you want to be a post-it note on the wall, if you want me to help you through these keys, I'm going to give you everything that I've got over the next 8 weeks and then through coaching calls. The reps will too. The amazing community, we're all giving back to each other. That's part of the journey. And I can't wait to get started next week as we do Week of Welcome with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you've got any more questions, leave them in the chat and I'll come back to them later. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye. Happy birthday, Ryan, by the way. Have a nice day.